Big Mama's house. Big Mama's house. Welcome to Big Mama's house. Big Mama's house. Yeah. Big Mama's house. Welcome to Big Mama's house. Big Mama's house. Yeah.
Welcome back to Big Mama's house, y'all. Mama and Lizard are here with you today to talk about Grey's Anatomy, Season 21, Episode 2.
It is a ride. It explains a lot of things from episode 1.
We do start getting into the good stuff here. We open up with
Juan.
Adams and Simone, and she's getting her kitty taken care of. Which the noises are, disturbing Yasuda. So she goes to look for Quan in his room, but Molly's in his bed, and she finds him on the couch. So she's just like, screw this, I'm going to work early. Then we are at the hospital, and Owen and Teddy arrive. I guess they were had a week off. And Megan set a friend, Nora Young, for a perfed esophagus.
And apparently, Hunt has known Nora since they were kids. That was Megan's one of her besties. So he's like, I'm not too happy about seeing one of my sister's pushy friends. Or as he puts it, bossy friends.
And again, they haven't seen each other in a few decades, And then Amelia finds out that she doesn't have a lab at Grace Sloan anymore. And we figured, she may have let them have their jobs back, but Catherine is going to keep letting them know that she's the boss and that she is not forgotten yet forgiven.
Yeah.
So, poor Amelia. And then Yasuda and Millen are both at the hospital, and they're in an elevator. And of course, what happens in elevators at Grace Sloan?
You make out of them.
That's right. So we got some girl-on-girl action. And they get busted by Amelia.
And Amelia takes the stairs.
Yeah, she's just like, yeah, I'm not going to interrupt that. I understand, you do you. And then Meredith and Miranda show up in Catherine's office at the same time. Bailey wants her job back, and Meredith is there for Catherine's, health stuff. Oh. And I'm like, you flew all the way across the country to draw your blood, Catherine. Stop being such a bitch.
Yeah, again, we talked this in the last episode, though, about how, she's very selfish when it comes to what she wants, and even at the detriment of her own health. She's very stubborn about control.
Yeah, that control.
She's gonna get her killed, literally.
Yeah, she's gonna end up doing herself in with her stubbornness. Then we have Sydney, Heron, and the interns. And while they're talking, Molly is still hanging around, stalking Quan, because she wants answers.
She doesn't remember anything, and he has the answers, and he's like, I'm not too interested in discussing this at my workplace.
But yet, he took her home the night before. She slept in his bed.
But he didn't sleep in the bed with her, though.
No, but I'm just saying, he had all night if he didn't talk about it at work. But yet she was like, no, I'm not giving up. So you go to work, I go to work. So yeah, she's still hanging out, stalking them. And the girl interns are really curious about who she is. And, well, because, Adams knows.
Yeah.
And he's keeping his trap shut because he's a good friend. But so the girls they just have so many theories.
I really want to get into it, but soon we're going to talk about it later on when they actually get to that part of the episode, so I'm going to stay quiet.
And then, of course, they're all picking on Adams about having to repeat his intern year, which sucks because it could have been all of them. So they're just going to, it irritates me when people do that. It's like you're going to give someone shit and pick on someone and get down on somebody about something that very well could have been you. And it just irritates me.
Well, also, if we go back, George repeated his internship year, and he was, again, a great doctor. Again, we don't really hear about him anymore because they got it in the hospital due to the plane crash and not.
Yeah, I mean, I miss George. He was a great, like you said, he's a good doctor. I hope they don't do to Adams what they did to him. And of course, God. None of them want to work with Sydney because they're just not used to that.
I know. She's just a lot. And as interns, they're already overworked and they're already rushing to, prove themselves. And I think they're like, you are not helping to be lost.
She is kind of overstimulating.
Right? And that's my thing about her, that her constant, like, would be very, you'd be like, could you like tone it down for like 2 minutes?
Just be real. Just turn off the sun and just let the real Sydney
Right?
be there.
Yeah, that's it. It feels very fake, and that's why it feels like it's a lot. If it was just natural happiness, but you could tell that she's like perfected the keep the smile on no matter what.
I have a comment about her later, though.
Yeah.
So then we have Levi, and he decides to try professional detachment. And I think it's mainly because he's really upset that he knows he's not going to get the Pete's Fellowship, and he's trying to hide his
Disappointment.
his disappointment is in himself, really, because he knows he should have done better. But of course, he had the whole COVID thing in the middle of his residency.
Right?
So I'm just like, can't they give him like a little bit of
Something?
a little leeway, anything?
Right? Like, little poor Shred has gone through a lot.
He really has.
He's only been in this business for a while, but he's turning into the new Meredith with how much issues he gets himself into.
So this episode, his patient is a 15-year-old with Lee-Fermini syndrome, which means he gets recurrent cancerous tumors all over his body. And the kid seems to be obsessed with death, and that kind of rubs Levi the wrong way, because to him that means that the kid has given up, I think. That's why it bothers him so much.
When in reality, it's played off more like the kid is using like his interest of death basically kind of to forget about the fact that it could happen to him very soon. And
Maybe,
that's
yeah.
the thing, like, making it more fun in a game. Like, he was planning his funerals and all this stuff, and again, it becomes like a game. Like, you're meant, like, those games where you get to choose how to decorate the house or whatever. It's kind of like that. Like, it's kind of like them making it a fantasy
Yeah.
rather than a reality.
And then Amelia is surprised that Meredith is in town and asks a bunch of nosy questions that Meredith can't answer because she's waiting on Catherine's scans, which show her liver covered in tumors.
Well, actually, they don't know. It could be Mets or whatever.
Some sort of tumor. A tumor is any kind of growth.
Well, yeah, but Catherine is refusing to allow her to do anything with them.
You're gonna add me again, my friend? Okay.
Keep moving. Hurry up.
So after the first commercial, we have Weber and Dooku and Adams in the lab, and they're doing stuff. And Teddy comes in and thanks Weber for holding down the fort while she was gone, and says that she filled the schedule and whatever, which of course is not going to rub Richard the right way anyway, because he's not operating for a reason, because whatever, his emotional stuff. And Weber says that she isn't chief anymore. And do you know why? Why, y'all? And he says that she can be a cardiothoracic surgeon, and when she can do that without breaking the rules or stealing any money, then they'll talk about chief. Okay, she didn't steal money.
That's what
She was the chief. She had a certain amount of money allocated for research or whatever kind of stuff. She allocated it to research.
right.
That's not stealing. His wording there pissed me off, kind of, because she didn't steal.
I'm glad that you pointed it out. I was so confused by what he meant. I was like, what do you mean stealing? And I thought maybe it had something to do with, like, before, like, any issue before. Like, trying to think back, like, I don't remember any, like, dumb money theft. And then the research thing you just about, like, yeah. But again, as you said, Meredith may have fricked up with the research, but at that time, when they thought they were putting the money toward in research, was what Meredith was telling her. I think the only people who really knew what Meredith was.
Oh, no, Teddy knew.
Oh, she
She
did.
was in on the secret, yeah. I know this was like last season, so it's been a minute.
Okay.
And so she was like, surely Catherine won't notice one line item. But then Owen went and asked for funding for his trauma training thing.
Oh, right.
And so then Catherine had to look into the funding, and yeah, it all came out. Anyway, so oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so sorry. Teddy just says,
Teddy.
I see. Okay, thank you. And I'm just like, she would have to be humiliated. He should not have done that in front of other people. That is the most unprofessional thing I have ever probably seen on this show.
Actually, I would say one of the most unprofessional things is anytime that they paired Meredith with like a troubled family member who was either a patient, an employee, or just decided to be there that day, and she's like, "Hey, I'm having personal issues with them. I've had personal issues with this person my entire life. Please don't pair me with them. I don't want to be around them." And like, you're being unprofessional. How could you have feelings as a person and want to like separate your private life? I'm just saying. It's the whole thing about there's been a lot of unprofessionalism in this show.
I know, but from Richard, who is usually the most professional and teaching other people how to be professional, and then he does crap like that. Okay, it really it tweaked my ass.
It happens a bunch of times throughout the show. First it was started because of Meredith and his, personal feelings. And then it was like Adele and personal feelings. And then it's now Catherine and personal feelings.
Yes.
Again,
I still say he shouldn't have been talking about to her like that in front of the other employees.
But no, then you forget. Then they go golfing. And then they all go golfing.
Yes. So then Nora arrives by ambulance, and we find that Owen is called Rooster by some people because he played Rooster in Annie. And then he introduces her to Teddy, who acts kind of odd. And so Owen's like, "Hey, what's up?" And par for the show, she's like, "I'm fine." And I'm just like, "Of course you are." And now your husband isn't stupid. He knows you're better than that. He knows you're not fine.
But Teddy's a professional who is not going to let that interfere with her work that day.
Indeed. Excellent point. So then we have Pastor or Chaplain James, and he's giving a coffin catalog to Levi to give to the tumor kid. And Levi is like, no, because he has hope. He's like, I'm not giving my patient a coffin catalog. That is not the message we want him to have. We want him to believe he's going to survive because surgeons know sometimes your mental state affects how you will actually recover or not.
I feel like the fact that the pastor, assuming that they asked for it, and he was like, "Oh, I think this kid's gonna die. Here you go."
No, the kid asked for it, but still, I mean, and if the pastor wanted the kid to have the catalog, the pastor should have given the kid the catalog. Don't give it to a surgeon to give to him. That's just, don't do that. Anyway, the kid turns out to have a large benign tumor pressing on his spine, causing a lot of pain. And so they ask Amelia for help because, it's Amelia's territory.
And Amelia has nothing else to do because all her stuff got
canceled,
given away, basically. And so she's like, perfect. I would love to do this.
And then we're over with Meredith, and she shows Catherine her scans. And Catherine refuses treatment and refuses to tell Richard or Jackson anything. And that just puts Meredith in the worst possible place because she loves Richard and she loves Jackson. And she may not love Catherine all the time, but she definitely respects her.
And here's the thing, though. We all know, because due to history and Richard's unprofessionalism, especially around Meredith, that when they find out, they're all going to get mad at Meredith for not telling them. And she knows, because that's always what happens.
Exactly, but she loves them enough to still try to treat Catherine, regardless how Catherine treats her.
Right.
And to try to save her life as best she can for them.
Right, and that's the whole big thing. Like, she's pushing for all this stuff, and then at the point where they're gonna find out about Catherine, they're gonna get mad at Meredith anyway, and Meredith's gonna be like, gonna have tried her best to convince her, but it's not gonna be like, why didn't you tell me? I'm her husband, and I'm like,
yeah, she's screwed no matter what she does.
Right.
Absolutely screwed.
Again, it's 21 seasons. We know it's gonna happen.
Yes. So then we're back with Nora, and we find out that she has 4 kids, and she is enjoying being taken care of, because usually she's the caregiver, and she's going through a divorce, and I mean, it is what it is, She's happy to be able to divorce, evidently. Then we're over, and Molly is still stalking Quan, and she's outside the ICU, where she's not really supposed to be. And she pushes for info. And he tells her that they met at a Halloween party and she was dressed as a giant disco ball and couldn't get in the bathroom and needed help. And it was a whole meet cute kind of story.
Right.
And right about the time that she was going to ask for more information, Nora starts picking up blood.
Actually, he starts more like just spewing a lot of blood. It keeps coming out. It's like in the tube, it's on the bed, it's on her. It's a lot of blood that comes out.
Yes, it was gnarly. Then after the second commercial, Teddy and the interns save Nora.
I would like to point out the medical wise, the bleeding was coming from her esophagus, so Teddy inserted this balloon catheter pump thing so they could put pressure on the wound. For anyone who's curious.
Thank you for that. Then Meredith goes to Bailey in the clinic for a consult and finds out that Sydney is back. And it kind of blew her mind, but she didn't really care because she had bigger things on her mind, like saving Catherine. Then we're back over with the tumor kid when we have Dr. Beltran, Amelia, and the interns, and they're trying in surgery with the kid. And sorry, they're not in surgery yet. They've come up with a plan to save the kid. And they go to tell the kid and his dad, and they find out that Pastor James took him outside, and that really irritates Levi. I think it's just because Levi is already just having a bad time because he's upset with, about the whole PEDS fellowship.
Yeah.
And he's trying his professional attachment, which basically means he's trying to stuff his feelings. And Levi is not good at stuffing feelings.
I didn't appreciate how pushy the pastor was this entire episode with Levi. Like, he was, pushing buttons, he was being...
Well, and did you notice how, he would walk right up, rebel, lean over him and, almost trying to intimidate him?
Look, by the way, everyone, this pastor is at least a good foot higher than Levi. And he's just right over him, staring down, and Levi's staring up at him like, go, Levi. He did not...
He didn't back up, didn't back down, didn't get intimidated.
And I'm like, again, Mom is a Christian, whatever religion you are, it doesn't matter. But when you're doing stuff like that, it makes you just seem even more weird than you are. Like giving a coffin catalog to a sick kid, even if they ask for it, that's like...
Yeah, I'm not a pastor, and there are, again, when it comes to anything with psychology, which is what basically dealing with this kid is, because you're managing his fear and his sadness and his grief and his loss, and plus, the dad and the family and whatever. Anyway, it's a lot, and there are two schools of thought on that. You either give the kid the catalog and let him live in reality and plan his stuff and let him process emotions that way. Or you can be like, no, you shouldn't worry about that kind of stuff. That kind of stuff is way down the road. You could try the hope route. And neither one is necessarily wrong. It just depends on the person that you're dealing with and what they need.
Well, right. Because like I said, psychology means everything, and the psychology is weird.
And again, because people are weird, and if you're dealing with people, you gotta be a little imaginative. So then we're with Richard and Dugu and Adams, and they took the day off to play golf. And we find out that Adams was really good at it, and Richard likes to compete. So that gave him a really good day. And Dugu is not as good as a golfer as he seems to think he is.
No.
But he said he's out of practice.
But he's also the one who invited them out because he's like, okay, they witnessed Richard
blowing up at Teddy.
And so he's like, we should get out of the hospital for a little while. So they all went. And we know that Adams apparently learned golf from his dad to, better fit in with his colleagues. And he's like, oh, maybe he was right. Like, you think?
The only useful thing that his parents did seems like they gave that kind of complex. So then we're back with Teddy, and she's fixing Nora's esophagus, but she needs to fix Nora's esophagus, and she won't call in Richard after his comments earlier, and she tells Owen what he said, and that he doesn't trust her. And Owen decides he will operate with her and fix the esophagus after Teddy fixes the tear. Then we're with Meredith, and she shows Bailey's Catherine's scans, and they debate what the tumors on her liver are. Now, of course, Catherine and Meredith initially thought that they were with the cancer, obviously some sort of, met from her spine cancer.
Yeah.
Um, but Bailey thinks that because they've been there a minute and there isn't any more, that they could be like little fatty deposits or some other like side effect or whatever from the chemo and radiation.
Yeah. And the Bailey is being very, I think, a little optimistic, and it might happen, but again, we don't know. We don't know where the story's going to go this season.
Exactly, because we know there are miracles that happen at Grace Sloan, and we also know that depending on where the storyline is going, it could be, terrible.
But also at that moment when I saw Meredith showing Bailey Catherine's scans, I was like, that's not going to go well with Catherine.
Yeah,
That's not going to go well.
but here's the thing: there are loopholes for things. We'll get to that whenever we get to that scene.
Yeah, she's getting a consult from Bailey as a doctor, and that's how she's getting the loophole through it.
Exactly. But you got ahead of me again. So, we're right there anyway. After the third commercial, Meredith and Bailey confront Catherine about the tumors, about maybe not being cancer, and that they just need to do a biopsy to find out. And then they would know one way or the other.
And Catherine argues, is like saying,
Threatens Meredith with HIPAA, gonna sue her.
and Meredith's like, go ahead, but let's do the biopsy first.
Right? So, like, and then she threatened Bailey with not getting her job back, and Bailey was like, whatever, I'll get another job. And
then Bailey was also like, whatever, don't give me a job, but let me do the biopsy first.
right, and so they're just whatever. Catherine's used to bullying because she has something over people, a job, suing them, whatever. But these women have had to fight to get rid of they are. They are not gonna back down.
I also have a good point to make, and I'm gonna go back many seasons back to when Meredith and them were all interns.
Mm-hmm.
When Izzy, by the way, this is not a spoiler, it's been way too long. When Izzy got all that money and then spent all the money to pay for that kid's surgery, Billy was like, "Did you just get into the to get into the surgery?" And then she was like disappointed when her answer was, "No, I did it to be a good person." He's like, "Listen, you gotta decide if you want to be a surgeon," and that's what Meredith and Billy are. They're like, "Sure, take away our money, sure, put us in jail, sure, but first let us treat you," because they're 100% surgeons and doctors first.
Excellent point. Good job. But in order to get her to concede even a little bit, they use Richard to guilt her.
Of course they do.
So Molly corners Quan and he tells her that he cheated on her once.
Wait. Did she get the call from Richard at that point? Because Catherine.
It was a text from Richard saying that he was going to come by, and that's when I'm going to get to where they are at the next one.
Okay, I wasn't sure if that we had to time skip or not.
Nope. So she corners Quan, and he tells her that he cheated on her once, and she found out and deleted all the photos except for one. They fought. She left and got into the accident, and she tells him it was nobody's fault. And you can see the relief on his face and because he's felt this guilt, he said, every day since the accident.
Well, it also helps that she doesn't remember any of that, but also she said she spent a lot of time being angry over the accident, and she's been able to let it go.
And she's at peace with it now.
And that's one of the hardest parts of going through things. And again, Quan, you could see that it hurt him as well as helped him whenever she said that it doesn't matter anymore. I'm in a better place. You're obviously in a better place. We can be happy. Just not with each other.
We don't know that yet. We'll see.
Well, you're skipping ahead.
No. I'm just saying, like, I thought since she showed up that he was maybe gonna get back with her.
Well, but she has a fiance, so the only way it's gonna happen is if she decides,
He was her fiance first.
Yeah, but they have zero memories now. But let's keep going. Let's go to the episode. We're speculating right now.
So they do the tumor kid's surgery and they save him. Teddy does Nora's surgery and Owen helps her and they fix her. But then Tumor Kid has a surgery post-op. And you're like, what? Anyway, after the fourth commercial,
The seizure post-op, not surgery post-op.
did I say surgery?
You said surgery. It's seizure.
I so apologize, you guys. I got my ADD going on today. The tumor kid has a seizure post-op. Sorry about that. After the fourth commercial, after finished golfing, Ndugu gives Richard a pep talk, and he tells him that he doesn't believe Richard is finished with surgery, and everyone makes mistakes. And Richard replied, "Not everyone is over 65. Does that make as big of a difference?"
According to because the reason why I can't say his name.
Ndugu.
I'm letting you say it. The reason why he brings it up is because he said Richard was doing very well golfing. He said it's not so much different from surgery, requires focus, precision, stamina. And he's like, maybe you should give it another shot. And Richard looks a little bit more, even if he doesn't take the advice, and he looks proud of himself. He's like, maybe I do still got it. And again, that's why I'm hoping. I said that last episode, didn't I? That I'm hoping it's self-doubt that was keeping him.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe having a bit more confidence would be what helps him push him back into surgery.
I hope he gets his confidence back. That's the big thing. Whether he continues to operate or not, I hope he goes out on a high.
Right.
And not feeling like he just can't anymore.
Because that's the big thing with the surgeons, especially in the show. They have to be confident what they're doing, or else they don't do what they do. You have to be really confident in order to take out the tumors that they take out in the show.
Well, to cut into a human body, that does take some confidence.
It takes a lot.
Then we are with Meredith and Bailey and Catherine at Joe's bar. And Catherine went across the street because she was afraid that Richard was going to come by and everything would get spilled.
Yeah. It was the one place Richard wouldn't look for her.
Right. And Catherine said her body is tired, but they basically bully her into a biopsy.
Because again, like we have this last episode with the clot. They're like, try. And if it turns out it's cancer, crap. But at least we'll know. And if it's something we can fix, we can fix.
And then if you know it's cancer and you choose not to treat it, that's something at that point. But if it's benign and it's something easy to fix, then that would be silly to let it kill you.
Or it's at a point where they could just remove it and be done with it.
Exactly. Okay, and here's my observation. There's something weird about Nora. I don't know if it's just my intuition or whatever. But she told Owen that he looks just like his dad, but she was only 6 or 7 years old when he died, and he only really had one interaction with her once, whenever he put her like for a monkey bars or something. And I'm gonna say that there's gonna come back and she's like his half sister and they have an affair.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. Cause I'm like, that's a little weird to have that big old like, and if they were like neighbors and close, that would make sense that he could, totally be, dad figure to 2 kids, but best friends with one of his kids. Well, his main family kids.
Well, it would blow everything up because they kind of like put their dad on a pedestal, and he's like this hero worship thing now.
And then to find out that he cheated on their mom and had a whole like.
And it makes you wonder if his mom knew.
Is their mom dead now?
No.
Oh no, she's still around. I thought so.
Yeah, she's with the firefighter. Remember?
You are right. Yes, I remember. Who should I think of? I think I'm thinking of someone else's mom. I don't remember who it was.
Anywho, back to the show. So the tumor kid, we find out, has a malignant brain tumor, and there's nothing they can do. And so Levi wants to be the one to tell him because he's gotten, close to him when he was there.
And I would like to point out, again, the medical side of things, due to his issues, he would have regular scans and everything. So Amelia said it was probably too small to show up in the last scan, but then grew
really, really fast.
Really fast. And so there was nothing they could do. Not the medical side.
Thank you, Lizard. So then we're with Quan, and he gave Molly a lemon cupcake because that's what she wanted for their wedding cake. And after they have a little chat, Quan kisses her, and she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and he's like, "I'm sorry," and she's like, "It's okay, don't worry about it," and he's like, "No, I'm so sorry," and he's like, "But if you ever need anything," and she's like, "I know where to find you."
Did you notice how like iffy it was? Like I felt like they're setting up that she's gonna want to get back together. I was like, did she maybe feel something?
Remember something?
Right? That's what like her face was. I'm like, are they gonna do that way? And he kissed her, and now she's gonna get memories back.
Prince Charming.
I, I'm honestly excited to see where that. I feel bad for Beyonce right now though.
Yeah, but again,
He,
Juan was there first.
but he also cheated on her first.
Yeah, but she doesn't remember that. So does it count? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It counts.
But if she remembers that, all those feelings might come back really fast.
It's true. It could. It could blow up in their faces if it all
Because
comes back.
then the last thing she was probably feeling before she got that accident was being angry at Quan,
And heartbroken.
right? And so she gets those memories back too.
Mm,
It's not just again, people. It's not just love and roses. It's also thorns and blood.
damn. Get deep on us, Lizard. Okay, so then Levi tells the tumor kid and his dad and Pastor James that he only has weeks to months to live. And of course the kid is very upset, and so is his dad. So he helps him make a bucket list. Like, what does he want to do before he dies? And I think it's morbid when you're healthy. When you have a little time to live, I think that's probably the best thing he could have done.
I mean, a little more to say, but he already planned his funeral.
Well, I mean, that way it helps him plan and enjoy his present and his short-term future, so it gives him something to look forward to and not just obsessing with death.
Well, and also death is now a very much reality, so I don't think he's going to be wanting to look at funeral stuff for till the end, basically.
I hope not. I hope he does get to enjoy what time he has left. So after the last commercial, commercial 5, I'm just gonna say Sydney has gotten to be kind of snide and backhanded with her little comments. Like she was being snide with Bailey about how, oh, well, have fun with your clinic. I personally couldn't live out of the OR. And then she was snide at the end there with Adams because, oh, he got to go golfing all day. It must be nice to,
Have friends in higher places. And again, it's the fake niceness that makes me so not like her character.
And because she says it was upbeat tone and a smile on her face, she thinks it doesn't piss people off.
Everyone knows that coworker of the one who's acts so nice and maybe she'll bring cupcakes every once in a while, but she also says the most backhanded things. And she's like, oh, I'm just joking. Don't take it the wrong way, but you know she meant it.
Absolutely, 100%.
And you just want to slap her,
Yes.
please.
So then we have, this is going to go pretty quick here at the end. It's basically just real quick little scenes of each person, each duo. We have Teddy and he asking Richard to be chief again, and he just said, okay.
And then she was like, I have a whole speech prepared. And he's like, take the one. And he left. He's like, I'm gonna go find my wife.
And then we have Amelia and Beltran. They're continuing to bond. Meredith and Bailey asked Teddy for a scrub nurse to use for a procedure in the clinic, and she grudgingly agrees.
Ooh, maybe they are getting their Bailey and OR thing.
And we have Levi, and poor Levi, he breaks down with Pastor James just because professional detachment just is not a thing that will work for Levi.
And I think it's kind of ironic that Pastor James is comforting Levi, a Jewish gay man.
Well, I don't even know if he's like, it wasn't even so much of a comfort thing. He was just sitting there next to him. I think he felt this is sad, so they were just kind of being sad together.
Have we seen Pastor James over this episode? I was thinking, like, who is this guy? Why is he so involved in this one kid?
Why do they have to give Levi this ugly new love interest?
Is that what you're getting from this guy? I didn't.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, I would be so angry if that's a love interest.
Oh, yeah,
No,
definitely,
no,
100%.
I don't want it.
I'm calling it now, y'all. I'm calling it.
It doesn't even matter if it is.
Then we have Adams, and he tells Simone that he will repeat his intern year because he doesn't want to be bailed out like his family does. And then we have Millen and Yasuda. They arrive at the house and they're kissing, But they open the door and find Quan video gaming, all sad and alone. So they join him like good friends.
I mean, this guy is just sitting on the floor playing video games,
Eating pizza.
he's not even using his hands to grab the pizza. He's just leaning forward in the box, and like that's so sad.
Yes, and they were good friends and they joined him. And at the end, we have Richard and Catherine. They're driving home and he's singing along to the radio to her and he's like, "Come on, I love it when you sing." And so she starts to sing along, but she looks so sad. And I'm just like, tell your husband who loves you to death what is going on so you don't have to carry this burden alone.
Right? That's supposed to be your support system. And again, they are fully grown adults who can handle their own feelings. They would want to be there for, again, the whole point is that she doesn't want to burden anyone. Again, control freak, because if she gives away any little bit of control, then she'll feel like she has none at all.
Because they will guilt her into getting treatment and doing things that she doesn't feel like she wants to do. That's all it is.
Well, that's what you get for being in a family of doctors.
And with people who love you.
And your whole job and organization has been about doctors and medicine.
Exactly. All right. Do you have anything else for this episode?
Catherine's a little silly.
Indeed. Okay, you guys, that's the end of season 21, episode 2. I hope you come back and visit us next week for our next episode. But as always, we are dedicating this season to suicide prevention. From your cell phone, you can call 988 or to text, you can do pound or hashtag or the number sign, whatever you want to call it, pound 988 to text with someone at the suicide hotline. Please, we've been there. We know what it's like to be suicidal, to try to kill yourself, to want to kill yourself, to feel useless and hopeless and like nobody wants you around and everybody would be better off without you. We have been there and now we are grateful that we did not succeed. So please reach out for help. People do care. People are there for you. Just, please reach out. Okay, guys, that's it for this week. Until next time, bye.
Please subscribe.
Subscribe because it's free.